Hello and welcome to TTV News with some latest event in TayNinhTV province. Ladies and gentlemen, recently at a meeting of the Basic Construction Committees of the third quarter, after analyzing and evaluating the region for the flow disbursement of public investment capital, Chairman of the Provincial People Committee Nguyễn Thanh Ngọc directed that it is necessary to drastically implement specific solutions attached to responsibilities of each investor. Along with that, he also divided the project and work in the province into three groups to have measures to promote effective construction.
According to the chairman of Provincial People's Committee, in Group 1 is the projects waiting for bidding, and it is the group with a high risk of falling into the situation of disbursement of zero Vietnam dong, and therefore the building work must be carefully prepared and carefully selected the right contractor with the capacity, and at the same time it must ensure the time. And if the investor is subjective and gets stuck on the bidding is not completed until December, and the disbursement will not be possible. And Group 2 are the projects that are currently carrying out compensation and site clearance, and this group has two possibilities. If the local government does a good job of compensation and site clearance, the disbursement rate of public investment capital will increase. However, if the compensation and the site clearance are not completed by October, the disbursement rate will not increase, and therefore, the chairman of the Provincial People Committee noted that localities, investor and project management boards that have the projects that have approved compensation and site clearance plans are being implemented should not stop but must continue to implement. And the Group 3 and the projects that are just investment projects and some projects that are being organized for bidding, in which the project that is organizing for bidding has a high risk of not having the volume to make a maximum advance payment of 30%. This is a worry issue and also one of the subjective identities identified, and that is the capacity of investors and consultants is still limited, especially for the large-scale projects in the fields of agriculture and transportation. And therefore, in selecting contractor, we must seriously not let the contractors with the think of catching the enemy in bare hands slip through. And along with that, we need to enhance the responsibility of investors, and we must do it resolutely and absolutely. And when the contractor has enough volume, the investor must pay the capital, not making it difficult for the contractor.
On September 28, the Provincial Leadership Delegation, led by Mr. Nguyễn Hồng Thanh, member of the Provincial Party Standing Committee, Permanent Vice Chairman of the Provincial People Committee, visited and congratulated men, village elders, and religious people among the Khmer people in Johan District on the occasions of Sendota Festival.
The delegation visited and congratulated the Sendota Festival at Sajat Pagoda, Nindian Khmer, Hefuk Pagoda, Hatan Khmer, and Forma Pagoda, Tanlong Khmer. At the places they visited, Mr. Nguyễn Hồng Thanh warmly visited and congratulated the monks, village elders, and religious people among the Khmer people on a joyful and happy Sendota festival, wishing the Khmer people to continue promoting the tradition of solidarity, patriotism, actively participating in patriotic emulation movements, campaigns, and strictly implementing the party's guidelines and policies and the state laws and policies. On this occasion, the provincial and district leaders presented many gifts to the efforts of pagodas, village elders, and religious people among the Khmer people.
Dear audience, on the morning of September 28, the International Organizing Committee of the United Nations Day of Vesak from 10 countries and the standing committees of the Executive Council of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha visited and worshipped at the National Tourist Area at Padang Mountain in TayNinhTV province. Welcoming the delegation, there were Mr. Nguyễn Hồng Thanh, members of the Provincial Party Standing Committee, Permanent Vice Chairman of the Provincial People Committee.
The most venerable Professor Dr. Pira Prana Puntit, Chairman of the International Organizing Committee of the United Nations Day of Vesak, informed about the results of the first meeting between the International Organizing Committee of the United Nations Day of Vesak and the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha. The 2025 United Nations Vesak Festival with 80 countries with nearly 10,000 participants will take place from May the 6th to the 8th of 2025 in Ho Chi Minh City, and it is the fourth time Vietnam has hosted the United Nations Vesak Festival. The delegation expressed their admiration for the majestic beauty of Padang Mountain National Tourist Area, as well as the unique spiritual architectural works of internal standards located on the top of the mountain, all of which have created a unique ritual complex input with the Buddhist cultural beliefs. And it is so that during the 2025 United Nations Vesak Festival, the Padang Mountain National Tourist Area in Taynan Province will also be chosen to hold the peace prayer ceremony and perform an art program to celebrate the festival.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the past time, the inspection and organization of driver testing have been regularly directed by the TayNinhTV Department of Transport. During the testing process, the driver testing center also ensures transparency and the right people are tested. Through inspection up to this point, the province has not detected any violation during the testing process.
Currently, there are 10 training facilities and driver testing centers in the province that are qualified to operate. The Department of Transport has directed driver training facilities and driver testing centers to rectify and improve the quality of training, testing, and granting of driver licenses, and to properly implement the regulations and instructions of the Ministry of Transport and the Vietnam Road Administration on training and testing of road motor vehicle drivers in the province. Regarding training, we have the criteria that must meet the knowledge and skills, so we do not chase after achievements. For trainees who have not achieved the results, we continue to review and guide them until they achieve the results to ensure that they can drive well in the future. Then we will support them to register for the graduation exam. To ensure the quality of output, training facilities and the driving test center have developed programs, allocated scientific training time, ensure the number of kilometers of driving practice for students, did not let negative phenomena occur in driving training and testing, ensure that after obtaining a driver's license, students can control vehicles in traffic routes and strictly comply with the road traffic law, contributing to the goal of reducing traffic accidents on the criteria. Previously, I was very scared when I went out on the streets. When I got the license, now I'm more confident. If I learned, I can do it. In general, I have to obey traffic rules. With the close supervision and synchronization of the functional sector, the training, testing, and granting of driving licenses are increasingly transparent, meeting the needs of people to learn, test, and grant driving license, thereby contributing to ensuring traffic order and safety in the whole province.
And during the recent Mid-Autumn Festival 2024, the interdisciplinary inspection team chaired by the Department of Ministry in Trade of Taynan Province conducted food safety supervision at establishments producing mooncakes and other types of cakes in Hoa Thanh Thao Royal District and Thanh Binh District. Through the inspection, in general, the business households had a positive awareness of the issues of ensuring food safety in production and business. However, there are still some difficulties and obstacles, and it's necessary to soon issue unified regulation on the focal point for advising the presiding over the organization of implementation of inspection, examination and handling of violations to food hygiene and safety, avoiding the current situation of overlap and duplication in inspection and examination work.
The Provincial Party Standing Committee has just issued a plan to implement Directive Number 37 dated July 10, 2024 of the Secretariat on Innovating Vocational Training for Rural Workers to meet the requirements of industrialization and modernization of agriculture and rural areas. Accordingly, the province has set out specific tasks and solutions such as improving the quality and effectiveness of vocational training for rural workers, developing vocational training plans suitable to the labor market, socio-economic development plans, vocational training and employment needs of the people, while disseminating and raising social awareness about the role, position, and importance of vocational training for rural workers in socio-economic development, building new rural areas, sustainable poverty reduction, improving the knowledge and living standards of rural people. Along with that, vocational training for rural workers needs to be associated with training and fostering to improve digital skills for people, contributing to the development of the digital economy and digital society in rural areas, developing quality human resources, ensuring resources and conditions to improve the quality and effectiveness of vocational training for rural workers, supporting capital, means of production, product consumption, job introduction after vocational training.
Ladies and gentlemen, for many years, every rainy season, Ba Cẩm Phiêu in Hưng Hưng Commune town has been flooded, causing difficulty for agricultural cultivation. Currently, local people are hoping that the functional sector and local authority need to quickly overcome the flooding situation in Ba Cẩm Phiêu so that farmers here can have a bumper crop.
The rainy season of 2024, especially after the impact of the storm number 3, caused serious flooding in Hưng Thuận Commune, and dozens of hectares of rice of farmers were submerged in the water, causing severe damage. And the silted canal system has made water drainage difficult, making the people extremely worried. For the past 3 years, we had been heavy flooding and deep flooding. In this year's crop, I planted seeds, and from the time I planted on August 20th until 27th, the rice grew very well. Starting on August 27th, when it went, I pumped our water and the rice still grew normally. But after storm number 3 and storm number 4, the water could not be pumped anymore, so the rice has lost in the top and losses are huge. According to the actual records, this drainage canal is clogged due to many reasons. Along the drainage canals, there are many duck farms and many P40 iron fences blocking the natural flow, and the sewers were all installed by the people without ensuring the technical standards. Dimensions were filled with the rocks, dirt, and garbage, and making it impossible for the flow of water to drain. Although only separated by canal, the fate of the two fields is completely opposite. While the western field is drained, the Ba Cẩm field is still submerged in the water. My 2 to 3 hectares of rice that have been stoned and has not been ruined. It has been flooded for about 20 days, and in 1 year we can only grow winter spring crop, but the other 2 crops are not grown and are left followed. And I hope the government will consider and quickly clear this drainage canal so that the water can flow so that farmers can go to the field for the next crop. Deputy Director of Dầu Tiếng Phước Hòa branch under the Southern Irrigation Exploitation Company Limited said, after receiving feedback from the people, especially the farmers, in early 2024, the Southern Irrigation Exploitation Company Limited coordinated with the Department of Agriculture and Development of the province and related units to conduct a comprehensive inspection and review of the current status of the construction items and agreed to report and propose to the People's Committee of the province to support the funding for repairing 3 traffic irrigation works. On the company side, the design survey and technical support have been completed, and now we are just waiting for the Ministry of Agriculture and Development to give opinions on how to implement the process and procedures, and then the company will implement the next steps in accordance with the law. Recently, the People's Committee of the province has also approved and planned to provide funding to the rest of T23 to T drainage canal to ensure the safety of irrigation works during the rainy and stormy season, and to promptly serve the agricultural production for the people.
The Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism has just organized a program to promote Vietnam tourism film in the United States with the theme Vietnam New Destination of World Cinema in Los Angeles, California. The number of thousands of visitors participating in the program shows the prestige and influence of Hollywood partners in organizing this program and the strong attraction of Vietnam's destination to foreign filmmakers. The interest of the public and Hollywood filmmakers has also contributed to widely promoting Vietnam tourism through cinema, promoting destination and effectively exploiting tourism from cinema, creating a breakthrough in tourism promotion and advertising.
On the morning of September 28th in Haiphong City, the Ministry of Agriculture and Environment held a conference to present and support the recovery of livestock and aquaculture production in the provinces and cities affected by storms and floods. The localities in the heaviest losses in livestock and aquaculture include Haiphong, Quảng Ninh, Thái Nguyên, Yên Bái, and Hanoi. And according to a report from the Ministry of Agriculture and Environment, from storm number 3 and the floods after the storms has caused losses from more than 6 trillion Vietnam dong to the aquaculture industry alone, and the livestock industry suffer for losses of more than 25,000 cattle and more than 3.1 million poultry. And up to this point, for the aquaculture industry, benefactors and business in the spirit of mutual love and support have provided support in the forms of money, food, and praise to restore production after the storm number 3, with an amount of equivalent to about 90 billion Vietnam dong. And the livestock industry has also received support in terms of breed, food, and vaccines with a total amount of more than 80.6 billion Vietnam dong. And at this conference, the Ministry of Agriculture and Environment, together with the businesses, organized the donation and direct support to affected household businesses and localities to quickly restore livestock and aquaculture production.
Just over a month after signing the protocol with China, Vietnamese businesses have promoted the export of fresh coconuts to this country of 1 billion people. The Vietnam Coconut Association forecasts that with the signing of the protocol allowing the official export of fresh coconuts to China, the export turnover of fresh coconuts this year could reach $250 million, accounting for 25% of the total export turnover of the coconut industry.
Dear audience, after the storm and flood, many enterprises in 26 provinces and cities suffer heavy damage. Currently, enterprises are rebuilding and to restore production and business, reducing loan interest and continuing to borrow new capital with low interest rate is a wish of many enterprises, recorded in Lao Cai, a locality heavily affected by the recent storm.
Half a month after being affected by the circulation of storm number 3, Nam Luc hydropower plant still has no electricity to pump water and mud out of the tunnel. Serious landslide. The operating area was flattened. 5 staff members died. Estimated damage to assets and infrastructure is up to over 100 billion Vietnam dong, not including damage due to stopping operations for repairs in the coming time. Immediately, the factory received a 10 billion Vietnam dong reduction in all loan interest rates and new loan incentives to reinvesting machinery. 50% reduction in interest payable in the last 4 months of 2024, and especially the 50 billion rental loan package of 4.5% phase for businesses. This is truly a financial support for us to overcome this difficult period. This business also suffered a collapse of the factory warehouse containing construction materials and on equipment, estimated at billions of Vietnam dong. Immediately, the company received a reduction in loan interest rates. With this incentive, the company continued to invest in machinery and equipment and develop a business plan. We received a 30% reduction in loan interest rates, and we try to pay off the outstanding debt to the bank within 12 months. As soon as the storm circulation was causing heavy rain and landslides, the bank staff has called on customers to check on the situation of businesses that may be affected. In Lào province alone, up to now, the bank has completed the interest exemption procedure for 13 businesses until the end of 2024 and is continuing to review further. Support interest exemption up to 50%. Some businesses are supported 100% of interest. We issue a referral rental interest rate program of 4.5% to support businesses and people to overcome the consequences. Loan interest rate of 4.5%, equivalent to the interest rate of 9-month term. Only when businesses are healthy can banks operate well. This motto has been widely applied after storm number 3 passed.
And that's all for today, TTV News. Thank you for being with us and goodbye for now.